Kitkatscanread. Hello guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video. Today's video I'm bringing you guys my May book haul, and I've got a few to start the month off with because at the end week of April I just watched a load of recommendation videos of romance books, hate to loves, friends to lovers, you know, those sort of, and recommendations in general, and I added them all to my wish list. The ones that repeated the most or sounded really the most appealing to me, I ended up getting hold of, and the majority of these are second hand, so I saved quite a lot of money that way. I've still got a few left to arrive as of today, so next week they probably will arrive by the end of the week as the final few books, and then I have got a couple of books that I need to order because the way I'm doing this is because for some reason pre-ordering stuff doesn't seem to work. I'm an Amazon Prime member, pre-ordering doesn't seem to work. It says it arrives 2-3 weeks later after the release date, so I don't really know what that's about. So I'd rather wait for it to be in stock and then order it, and then I'll have it the next day or something like that, or whenever I can pretty much get it, a day or two after, as long as I get it and I'm not waiting 2-3 weeks for it to arrive, because that's ridiculous. Because some of them were saying that it could arrive end of the month till beginning of June, and I'm like, what? It's a beginning of the month release, this makes no sense. So I did pre-order one from a website that I've not used before, and at the moment it says it should arrive on time of the release date, so fingers crossed. If so, I will definitely use them again. So the first book that I have to share with you is, this is the Bromance Book Club, and this is by Liz K. Adams. I've been recommended this book from a lot of videos, even last year actually, because there's a sequel to this now, and I think I've got the sequel actually. I think I got it from NetGalley, but it was in the intention of I'd get this book to read it, and it sounds pretty cool. So it says here, the first rule of the book club is you don't talk about the book club. Nashville legend second baseman Gavin Scott's marriage is in a major league trouble. He's recently discovered a humiliating secret his wife Thea has always faked. Big O. When he loses his cool at the revelation, it's the final straw on their already strained relationship. Thea asks for a divorce. Gavin realizes he's let his pride and fear get the better of him, and then enter the Bromance Book Club. Distraught and desperate, he finds help from an unlikely source, which is a secret romance book club made up of Nashville's top alpha men. With the help of their current read, his semi-regency novel titled Courting the Countess, the guys coach Gavin on saving his marriage. But it's going to take a lot more than flowery words and grand gestures for this hapless Romeo to find his inner hero and win back the trust of his wife. So yes, a manly, macho book club reading female books. It sounds funny, doesn't it? But I feel it's going to be quite good. I've heard really good things about it, like I say, so fingers crossed I enjoy this too. And I've also got here Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. This is brand new, but I managed to get this cheaper than Amazon was selling actually. So yeah, brand new. And it's another romance read right underneath. And it says here, Cassie Hanwell was born to handle emergencies. As one of the only female firefighters in her Texas firehouse, she's seen her fair share of them. She's a total pro at managing other people's tragedies. When her estranged aunt and mother asked her to give up her whole life and move to Boston, they suddenly have an emergency of their own. The tough old school Boston firehouse is very different from the old job as it could possibly be. A lack of funding, poor facilities mean that the firemen aren't exactly thrilled to have a lady on the crew, even one as competent and smart as Cassie. Except for the infatuation inspiring Ricky, who doesn't seem to mind having them around, but she can't think about that because love is girly and it's not really her thing. Don't forget the advice of her old captain that gave her, never date any firefighters. They can feel her resolve slipping, and it means risking it all, the only job that she's ever loved, and the hero she's worked the hell to work become. Things You Save in a Fire is heartfelt, healing tour de France about the strength of vulnerability to the nourishing magic of forgiveness and the life-changing power of divine courage at last for yourself. So yes, I got recommended to this by Heather from Bookables, and she said it's really, really good. But I also saw that somebody else had recommended this in their video as well, and I like the idea of a female firefighter novel. I just think that sounds really cool. Plus the cover's gorgeous. Look how blue it is, and look how matching we are to my hair. In fact, it's even brighter than me, and you'd think my hair's bright. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this read. It doesn't seem like too much of a big read, so yeah, it's fairly short read, but just sounds really good, and obviously if it's recommended too, it's a bonus. The final book that I have to share with you today is First Life by Jenny Sherwater. This is the first book that's in this series. I really like the cover to this. I like the hourglass and the sort of like city that's among it. The bottom one is all magical, the top one's really, really dark actually, so that's really cool. There are worse things than death. So yes, I know there's a sequel to this, and I managed to get this one at second hand. And it says here, I've been told history is written by survivors, but I know that isn't always true. My name is Tenny Lockwood, and very soon I'll be dead. This is my story, but the end is only the beginning. Tenny is an average 17-year-old girl who has spent the past 13 months locked inside the asylum. The reason, not her obsession with numbers, but her refusal to let her parents choose where she'll live after she dies. There's an eternal truth most of the world has come to accept. First life is merely a dress rehearsal, and real life begins after death. In the Everlife, two realms are in power, Troika and Myriad, long-time enemies and deadly rivals. Both will do anything to recruit Ten, including sending their top labourers to lure her to their side. Soon Ten finds herself on the run, caught in a wild tug-of-war between two realms that will do anything to win the right to her soul. Who can she trust, and what if the realm she's drawn to isn't home to the boy that she is falling for? She just has to stay alive long enough to make a decision. So, it sounds really interesting, and like I say, I love it, and yeah, hopefully I do enjoy this book. But this book has been on my wish list for like quite a while now, and it's just so nice to actually finally have this book in my hands. It's the 3rd of May, and I've got another book here. I got this book from Sainsbury's, the supermarket here in the UK, and this book is called Come Again by Robert Webb. I was just looking, I always browse the books whenever I go into the supermarket, because sometimes they have like new and bestsellers there, and they don't have a vast selection, but I was just intrigued by this cover, and I was reading the back of it, and it sounded really, really interesting. And it's about this woman, and her husband has died, and she basically one day wakes up in the body of herself when she's 18 years old, and it's the first day that she starts university and the first day that she meets her future husband, and she sort of wonders, can she save his life this time? So to me it sounds really interesting, and it's quoted that it's partly an adventure, part a love story, and partly a comedy. So yeah, it just sounds really interesting and different, and I like the sound of sort of mystery of waking up and not knowing who you are. Plus the main girl character is called Kate, so of course a Kate, how could I not pass up on this book? But yeah, it's just, you know, sounds different, and hopefully I do enjoy it. Today is the 8th of May, and I've got some more books to share with you. I've got one that came yesterday and one the day before. So these cover books came a couple of days ago. The first of which is A Float Plan by Trish Dollar. This one I was highly recommended by Heather from Bookables, and I did see this book on a couple of other recommendation videos as well. It sounds really cute, and when I was like relaying the synopsis, I was just like, it just sounds so adorable, and so like, you know what, that's really sweet. So this is about Anna, who has lost her fiance. She feels absolutely full of grief, and so she gets this like pending thing in like in an email or something, saying about like a reminder of her trip, and so she tries to go on it on her own. She finds that she can't, so then she hires this professional sailor to help, who is also struggling with themselves and their future and everything, and yeah, they just go on this sail together, and it just sounds really sweet. And it literally sounds like two lost and troubled people going on a sailing trip together and hopefully falling in love. I don't know, it just sounds really cute. It's almost like a second chance thing, like, you know, when you, because obviously getting past loss is a lot. So I feel like it's going to be really hard hitting, as well as just really sort of like, yeah, really beautiful I think it's going to be. So I really liked the sound of this one, and I hope that I really enjoy it. Plus, if it's highly recommended by one of my favourite booktubers, called Heather from Bookables, then yes, it's got to be purchased. Another book that's also recommended by Heather is Not Like the Movies by Kerry Winfrey. Can you tell Heather has a massive influence on me? We read the same books, we enjoy the same books, so I added this to my wish list and it just sounds really cool. So this is about Chloe, who is an absolute optimist, and they are the sole caregiver for their father, who has early Alzheimer's. She's responsible for everything. She's got no time or any interested in like a romance, and her best friend has wrote a rom-com that's going to premiere in theatres all across America, and it's been inspired by Chloe and her boss Nick. So the movie buzz grows. They've read one too many listicles, why Nick is the perfect man. Now she can't see him as anything but the scruffy bearded hunk who was always there for you when you needed him. But unlike the romance that Annie has written, Chloe isn't so sure that her own story will end just as happily. So I think it sounds really cute, and yeah, I don't know, it feels really kind of like, I don't know. I was going to say hate to love, but I'm just like, I don't know, one of those romances where you just don't see yourself with somebody until they grow on you, like that sort of thing. I really like the animated front cover of this. It really stands out, and it's a lovely floppy paperback as well, and yeah, it just sounds really fun. And then I've got here Sunkissed by Casey West. This is my pre-order. It's her latest book. I was going to pre-order it from Amazon. It's not on the Book Depository. I'm really sad about that, and I couldn't find it like anywhere else. So I got it from this website that I've never purchased before, and they said it should be along the week of the release date at least. So it's shipped and dispatched literally the day before the release date, and then I got it like 3 days after, so it's not too bad actually that I got this yesterday on the 7th and it released on the 4th, so that's perfectly fine. Anyway, I have no idea what this book is about. Casey West is an auto by author for me, meaning it doesn't matter what she writes, I will purchase it and I'll get it, and I most likely will enjoy it. So this is a new and latest novel, and I'm going to read to you what it's about. Avery has always used music as an escape. After her best friend betrays her, her perfectly curated playlists can't help her forget what happened. And to make things worse, her parents have dragged her and her social media obsessed sister to a remote family camp for 2 months of fun. Just when Ava is ready to give up on the summer altogether, she meets Brooks, a mysterious and frustrating charming person who just happens to be on the staff, which means that he is off limits. But what starts as a disaster turns into something else. As the outside world falls away, they embark on a journey of self-discovery. And when Brooks offers her the chance of a lifetime, she must figure out how far she is willing to go to find out what she wants and who she wants to be. Casey West is back with another unforgettable summer romance and reminds us that falling in love is full of wonder, heartache, and most of all, surprises. Will the stars align? Oh man, I just love Casey West so much. She's so amazing. But yes, a camp romance based in a camp. And yeah, with a staff member and this opportunity. I wonder if it's going to be like, do you want to work at this camp or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it sounds really cool. I will probably be picking it up pretty soon. I've got like Malibu Ryzen on the agenda as well in my brain, and that's due to come as well this month, and this. So yeah, it's probably going to be picked up very soon. It is the 30th of May, and I got some more books to share with you guys. I went into Woodstock today because my credit card had reset. It was reset on the 12th of the month, and I was waiting so that I could go, and just, yeah, I've just been like, you know, treating myself really. And this is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, the first book that I picked up when I was in the shop. It is the conclusion to the King of Scars duology, and I've been eyeing this book up. I've been eyeing up on Amazon, I've been eyeing up like everywhere, and I have every intention of reading the whole Grisha world, with reading and continuing on with the trilogy as well as the Six of Crows duology, which I did start, and then to go on to these. So yeah, it'd be good to like blitz through them all, so it's nice to have this now. Obviously, as it is a conclusion, I can't really tell you what this is about, and to be honest, I don't actually have a clue. I just got it because it's part of the series, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, a lot of people are pretty much reading it. The TV shows come out for the next Wick show, so it's nice to have this now. But I just want to show you this, guys. It's absolutely gorgeous, red in here, and yeah, lovely silver with the red. I just think that's absolutely beautiful to have on a cover. Don't think there's any design on the back. I think it's just plain. Yeah, but the spine is beautiful too. It's a really beautiful book, and I'm one of those rare kinds that like to read my hardcovers with the cover on. I am the rare kind. I just enjoy reading like this. Some people, they take the dust jacket off, but I just love the dust jacket. I just love feeling that metallicness as well when you're reading a hardcover. So yeah, I am really happy that I've got this now so that I can blitz those books in that series. And then I picked up The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. This is her new and latest book. This is about this road trip that goes to this wedding, and it's quite a long road trip, and basically the main girl, she crashes into the car of her ex who's also going to the wedding, and his car is absolutely totaled, so like has no choice but to jump into the car with her, and they both have to drive together. But it's just about them sort of like resolving what happened between them and stuff, and also a wedding. So I'm told this is really good. I remember Bookables saying that this is actually quite a good book, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Then I picked up The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This one I've already read before. This is her first ever book. It's her debut. I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favourite books of the year, and I just wanted to own my own physical copy of it so that I can just share with people like, this is my favourite book. And it's a book that I would just read again and again, and I've had so many intentions just to pick this book up and to purchase it, and now that I've got it, yeah, no excuse, it will go in with the other books, like no problem. But it's just a beautiful story about these two people that flat share, literally. One works nights, one works in the day, and what starts off as, you know, sort of like leaving post-it notes, just like, oh, by the way, this happened, blah 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 blah, oh, I've made you some food, turns into sort of like letters, and you know, they start to leave more personal stuff about themselves and everything. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful story about just how they develop into this lovely friendship and end up like having something, you know, spark there. So it's really good. I totally recommend it. It's a brilliant debut, and I will be recommending this for a while. It's just so good. I also got Havoc The Switch by Beth O'Leary because I have been recommended this quite a lot lately. This one I'm told is more character driven, and it's literally about this girl and her grandmother, and they literally swap apartments and where they live for, I'm not entirely sure how long, but basically her grandmother wants to like find love again, and so Lena basically agrees to like swap apartments as she wants like a little break as well, and it's about them. And yeah, there's a local school teacher who's very handsome, so something must happen between her and him. But yeah, I'm told it's more character driven rather than the romance in this one, so yeah, I'm all for that. Then I picked up Hostel Volume number 4 by Alice Oseman, the new and latest book that is in the series. I have read all 3 volumes and now I've got the 4th one. This will not take long to read because the art style is just so easy to follow, and you could easily read this in an hour, maybe less if you're a really quick reader. But yeah, it's an easygoing read. It's so cute, it's so light-hearted. If you're having a really bad day, this is one of the perfect book series to read. And it's basically about Nick and Charlie. It's a coming-of-age teen story about them discovering each other and discovering their sexualities, and discovering that they actually have a liking to each other and that they become partners. So there are 2 side characters that are from the book Solitaire by Alice Oseman, and that is a really good and interesting book. And yeah, so they flitter in and out of that book, and this is their story. It's how they met. but in a graphic novel format. This started off as a webcomic, and now Alice Oseman's been releasing these as published books for us, and they are so highly popular on the world of booktube. And it's, you know, it's one of those popular books that deserves the hype. And yeah, I just can't wait to give this a read, and it won't take me long to give it a read. So I'll probably slot it on at some point this month as an easygoing read, especially for moving. And yeah, I look forward to giving it a read. Then I picked up the Yearbook by Holly Bourne. This book is signed by the author, and I'll just quickly show you this signature, which is just it. A lovely, lovely signature. Holly Bourne has written so many books in the contemporary world, and I've only actually read, I think, one book by her, but I do own quite a lot of her books, so I don't know why I haven't read any of her like main books. I don't know why that is. Why am I not? I'm always drawn towards them, so why have I not read them? I don't know. I'm a strange person, but this is basically about a yearbook, and it's about Paige, and she is normally used to keeping quiet when it comes to lies, but she's had enough, so she flicks through the yearbook and she's gonna like start writing stuff. Oh, I don't know, it's just gonna be like so full of like juicy gossip and everything. Dramas, traumas, rumours, it's time to expose it all. That's just what it says on the front. And I absolutely love this one. Look at this. It is so awesome. With these flames going all up. It's a really, really pretty book actually. So I'm happy that I have this now, and I look forward to giving it a read. Will this be my first proper Holly Bourne book? I don't really know. We'll see. And then I picked up A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Conroy. This is the third book that is in the Curse of So Dark and Lonely series. I've only read the first book, so I know I haven't even got around to the second book yet. I do have an intention to, because I really enjoyed the first book. Basically, this is a twist on Beauty and the Beast, but the main girl character, she is disabled, and so that literally puts like a twist on the story itself, and the prince and the kingdom is cursed, and there is a guard called Grey. I absolutely love Grey. I want more Grey, so oh man, I want to continue on with the second book with more Grey. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I just really, really liked him. He was my favourite character by far. So yes, with this being the third book, I do really, really want to continue. And when I saw it, and it's a Waterstones exclusive as well, so it's got some additional content in this, so I thought, is this a hint? Because they hadn't had this on the table before, and I was like, it's on the table, so I need to get my hands on it and continue on with this. So there you go. When I move into my place, maybe that'll be the next one on the list. Next of all, I picked up Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. This is a new book that's not long been released, and it's got two main black characters in it, which is brilliant. And it says here, Quinn Jackson's journal is like their foundation. It doesn't tell them where they're going, it tells them where they've been. They don't know who they are without it. They are black, 18, a vegetarian, a chronic list maker, crushing on Carter Bennett, socially awkward, living a lie, lost without their journal, being blackmailed and about to face their truth. A passionate, heartfelt and addictive rom-com full of juicy secrets and leap off the page chemistry about having the courage to be honest, to live in the moment and to fall in love. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a really great contemporary, and I just love these colours. I'm just loving it. It's got a very, very spring feel to it, and with a little notebook on the back there, like, it's brilliant. So yeah, so I look forward to giving this a read. And then I picked up Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart, and it says here, Irea Azar has spent her life in a cell. She's heir of an overthrown gifted dynasty. She was exiled from the island nation of Ayaka. Every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carriot grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. She's daughter of the self-crowned Doyen. Her existence is a threat to her mother's rule, but Jasmine has no intention of dying. They're sworn enemies, and the two witches together enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both of their worlds. Revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the lengths that they will go to win the game. It's a thrilling story where dangerous magic reigns supreme and betrayal lurks beneath every word. So it sounds like a really interesting fantasy, and I really like the cover of this. It's definitely got that sort of tribal vibe to this book. and I've been seeing it around, so who knows, this could be a really, really good book. Then I picked up Fruit Basket Collector's Edition #1, and I've been seeing Fruit Basket, and when I saw this binder, I was like, this is perfect, because I love my graphic novels and especially my mangas at the moment. They're just such easy, good books to like have as a filler to read in between actual books. So yeah, this is the bind up, and I think it must contain about 3 actual like mangas in it. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, we shall see. I don't really know, to be honest, but yeah. So this, I've been told, is like really, really cute, because it's actually about this girl, and she moves into a tent, and she basically pitches on private land belonging to a clan, and they discover their secret, and then when they find out what the family offers to take her in, they have a secret of their own. When embraced by the opposite sex, they turn into animals of the Chinese zodiac. So it sounds really interesting. And yeah, so I've got another graphic novel to go through as a lovely, lovely filler to read in between books. I just really like these, and they count as reading, and they're always quite enjoyable too. And then the final book that I picked up is Victoria Aveyard's new and latest book, which is called Roundbreaker, Save the World or End It. This book is also signed, so I'll just quickly share with you the signature, which is right there, and with this lovely and gorgeous map that's also on the other side as well. That is beautiful. So it's a plain red book, as you can see here, but the maps are just gorgeous, and it's on the other side as well. Victoria Aveyard has written the Red Queen series, and I've only ever read Red Queen. I actually quite enjoyed that. This edition has got red edges as well, which is beautiful, and this is basically about a strange darkness that the main character can feel, and then she gets a knock on the door of an immortal and an assassin who tells them they are the last of an ancient lineage with the power to save the world from destruction. So there's a group of her and some allies. They go on a journey to complete a task with untold magic singing in her blood and the fate of the world on her shoulders. So she's got a squire who is the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, an assassin, an old sorceress, and a pirate's daughter. The heroes are gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. So yeah, it's a new latest book, so we'll see how this one goes. And then I had a pre-order that came in the mail just as I returned home today, and this is The Secret Bridesmaid by Katie Birchall. And Katie Birchall is a lovely author. I have read some books by her that I've really, really enjoyed. Her writing style is beautiful, and it just flows so easily, so I had to pre-order this. And it's about Sophie, who is a professional bridesmaid. So basically she's hired to make sure that the bride's day goes off really, really well without any issues. So one day she's invited to work undercover at a society wedding of the year. It should be a chance to prove just how talented she is, but the bride is rude and difficult to work with, and they're absolutely determined to make Sophie's life an absolute nightmare. And Sophie finds herself drawn to Cordelia's older brother, who is absolutely off limits. A rival wedding is announced, things get even more complicated. So can she pull off the biggest challenge of her career, which is to follow her heart and maintain her reputation whilst keeping her true identity hidden? I think this is going to be really fun, a great chick lit, and yeah, to have Katie Birchall write a chick lit, you know, it's great because she's written some young adult books. I think it's Secret Life to Teenage Heiress or something like that is what it's called. But I think this is going to be a really, really good chick lit book to read. I acquired some more books. Today is the 16th, and I have got here We Are Inevitable by Gail Forman. This I got something from the publisher Simon & Schuster, so massive thank you to Simon & Schuster. It sounds brilliant. It's Gail Forman's new and latest book, which doesn't actually come out until the 1st of June. So I'm told this is for fans of Perks Being a Wallflower and Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. And It says here, so far the inevitable hasn't worked out for Aaron. Whilst his friends have gone off to college and moved on with their lives, they have been left behind running a failing bookshop with his dad. What he needs is a lucky break and the good kind of inevitable. Then he meets Hannah, who is incredible, magical, musical, brave and clever. Could she be the answer? Could they and their relationship and their meeting possibly be the inevitable that Aaron has been waiting for? It says here it's a laugh to you cry story about finding yourself and your people from the best-selling author of If I Stay. It sounds really cute, and also the fact that he works in the bookstore as well, which I think sounds brilliant. And also the main guy character is called Aaron, so who knows. But it just sounds really cute and adorable, and I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this book, so I'll be picking this up pretty soon. And these other 3 books I got from Chloe with Chloe Reads Books, and she's got a lovely little note that she left here saying, hope you enjoy, Chloe. So the first book that I've got here is You, and this is by Joanna Briscoe. So I've never actually heard of this book before. It says here, 17-year-old Cecilia is obsessed with her English teacher. They all are married Mr. Dull. She plots and speculates, yet she never dreams it could actually happen. But is it her imagination, or is it the high-minded Mr. Dull responding to her? Her mother, Dora, meanwhile, has preoccupations of her own. A move to Dartmoor was supposed to help reinvigorate her faltering marriage, but Dora soon finds herself increasingly drawn to the elegant and dangerously seductive wife of Mr. Dull, Elizabeth. 20 years later, Cecilia returns home to face her mother and her past, but the secrets they thought were buried cannot be buried any longer. I think it just sounds really interesting. I really like those sort of books, like forbidden romances, like between a teacher. Oh, I don't know why, I just have something strange about it. Like, I'm just a very bizarre person, but yeah, I'm just yeah, I just liked the sound of this one, so I got my hands on that one. Then I've got here How to Break a Boy by Laurie Devore. So yeah, I mean, like a young adult hardback, how can I say no? The thought of revenge gives me life purpose, so I give up and I get on with it. Tight jeans, loose top, red lips, let's do this. So it says here, Olivia Clayton has mastered the art of tearing others down to stay on top. She and her best friend Adrienne rule their small southern town like all good mean girls do, through intimidation and manipulation, until Olivia suffers a family tragedy and catches Adrienne sleeping with her boyfriend. Olivia then decides to make a change, but finds it impossible to resist taking down Adrienne one last time. After her old tricks, Olivia convinces Golden Boy Whit to be her SAT tutor and her fake boyfriend. When it starts to feel real, Whit gets caught up in Olivia and Adrienne's war. Olivia may ruin everything that she touches, but she won't go down without a fight, not if it means losing Whit, and definitely not if it means losing what's left of herself. I wonder if I finally broke him, or maybe I'm the broken one. So yeah, I mean, it just sounds like a sort of like Mean Girls possible like revenge thing for the sleeping with a boyfriend thing. I don't know, but yeah, How to Break a Boy, I don't really know. So I mean, we'll see with this one. I wasn't really quite sure. I just literally had a contemporary and I was like, yes, I'm in a contemporary mood. So we'll see if I like it, because Cody Kepling also quotes this, saying it's complicated girls and beautiful writing all in one. So I mean, I like Cody Kepling. A razor sharp look at grief, betrayal and redemption. They won't be able to resist Olivia. Complicated and beautiful writing. The drama will keep you turning pages until the very end. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'll give it a go. And then finally I have here In the Dark by Andreas Fuluga. She lives in a world of shadows. How can she bring a killer to light? Look at this cover. Jenny Aaron was once part of an elite police unit tracking Germany's most dangerous criminals. She was the best until it all went wrong. A disastrous mission saw her abandon a wounded colleague and then lose her sight forever. 5 years later, she has learnt to navigate a darkened world, but she's still haunted by her betrayal. Why does she run? She receives a call from the unit. They need her back. A prison psychologist has been brutally murdered and the killer will only speak to one person. I mean, to me that sounds like pretty interesting. And I've not even heard of this book before. So, I don't know. This will be like perfect for those when I'm in a thriller mood, or like when it comes to like autumn and like those deep and dark moments, or if I just want a nice book that I can just curl up with, like this will be one of those brilliant books. But yeah, So thank you to Chloe. She was unhauling some books and was asking if anybody wanted them, and those are the 3 books that I got. So yeah, thank you again to Chloe, and hopefully when I move in properly and everything, when I start reading better again and getting my life back in order, then eventually hopefully there'll be some books that I'll be unhauling as well that I will be passing on, but we shall see, because at the moment I've been reading a lot of books that I have been really enjoying. I've got a couple more books to share with you, the first of which is Paper Princess by Erin Watt. Very highly recommended in the romance genre and new adult genres, and yeah, this was one that just repeated a lot, so I was like, I have to get my hands on it, and it finally arrived. And it says here, the royals will ruin you. Ellie Harper is a survivor. She spent her whole life moving from town to town with her mother, struggling to make ends meet, believing that someday she'll climb out of the gutter after her mother's death. Ella is then truly alone. Callum Royal then appears. They pluck them out of their poverty, tossing her into this posh mansion among his 5 other sons who all hate her. Each royal boy is more magnetic than the last, but none as captivating as the Reed Royal, who is the boy that is determined to send her back to the slums where she came from. He doesn't want her, and he says that she doesn't belong with the royals, and he might be right. Wealth, excess, deception is like nothing Ella has ever experienced, and if she's going to survive her time in the royal palace, she'll need to learn to issue her own royal decrees. But I'm told it's full of that, like, angst and tension, and yeah. But it sounds, I don't know, it sounds really good, and I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this one. The other book that I've got here is Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This is her new and latest book. I literally received this yesterday on the 4th from Amazon, and yeah, it's nice to have Morgan Matson's new and latest book. I like the sound of this one actually, because it's between 2 best friends called Kat and Stevie, and they're theatre kids. They are complete opposites. They have snuck away from the suburbs to spend one night in New York City. The plan is simple: see a play, eat at New York's hottest restaurant, and have the best night ever. But then stuff happens, like a phone gets destroyed, a massive fight breaks out, and a dog called Brad, and then losing each other. So then they're alone in New York City. They have to figure out what to do next, but they've got a dog to return, a party to crash, and a boy to kiss, and 2 friends. Will they find their way back to each other before the clock strikes midnight? So it sounds like one night of adventure between 2 people that turns really disastrous, that separates them both, and they've got to find their way back to each other. It sounds like a really cute, like, friendship novel, and I really like that. Like, we need more like friendship novels, so I'm looking forward to giving that a read, and it just sounds really good. I like the fact that they had to see a play and they're theatre kids. Like, I like that theatre side. I love theatre books. So yeah, got that in my hands now. I have got here Malibu Ryzen by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is her new and latest novel. I've got the lovely signed edition from Waterstones. Really excited to have it, and I'm looking forward to jumping in this really soon, because a friend of mine who's been reading this has said it's really good. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. So this is about Malibu. It's 1983 in August. Nina Rivers' annual end of summer party. Anyone wants an invite to catch a glimpse of the siblings. Nina is a talented surfer and supermodel, and her brothers Jay and Hud are champion surfers and a renowned photographer. Their baby sister Kit, and the siblings are a source of fascination in Malibu, the world, especially as the children of the legendary singer Mick River. So by midnight the party will be completely out of control. By morning the mansion will have gone up in flames. But ahead of that first spark is the early hours before dawn. The alcohol will flow, the music will play, and the loves and secrets that shaped us formerly will all come bubbling to the surface. Now, I love the drama. I love books with real good drama, which is why I absolutely loved and adore Daisy Jones and the Six. It's one of my all-time favourite books. So I don't know if this is going to come close to Daisy Jones. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it even more. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it less. I don't know. But I'm going to go into this book blind, and I'm hoping that I enjoy it all the same. As long as I enjoy it, as long as it's a book that I really enjoy, then, you know, everything's great. but if it's a book that I love even more, then that's even better. So I have gained some more books. I am now in my new house, and these are books that I have required. So I've got here Aladdin, Far from Agrabah by Aisha Saeed. It's an original tale. So it's Disney as Aladdin, written by Aisha Saeed. So this will be interesting to watch an actual like written version of the Aladdin cartoon. It's one of my favourite Disney cartoons ever. And I got this from the lovely Laura at McIntyre123. She does ASMR videos, but she also does like bookish videos as well on her separate channel. And she was selling these on eBay, so I went to go check them out. And yes, I got my hands on this one, and I'm really excited to give this a read because, like I say, absolutely really love and enjoy Aladdin. She was also getting rid of Pretty Rude by Rebecca Elliott. This is the sequel to Pretty Funny, which I really enjoyed. I absolutely rave about it so much, and yeah, it's a sequel, and I wanted to get a physical copy of it and to give it a read because I can't wait to start this one. It's just, I feel like it's just going to be so funny and hilarious all over again, and yeah, I just can't wait to continue. And then I've got here Everyone Dies Famous in a Small Town by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. This was another book that Laura was selling. So it says here, in a small town you're forever defined by the worst thing that ever happened to you. Come on a journey across the rural American West. So it sounds really interesting, and yeah, I've not really heard about this book, so it'd be interesting to see where this book will take me. And then I've got here Hello by Liza Weimer. I've not heard of this book before, but I saw that Laura was selling it, and yeah, it says on here, Trisha is a girl struggling to find her way over her grandma's death, as Emerson is a guy who lives his life to fulfill promises, real and hypothetical. Angie's a girl with secrets that she can only express through poetry. Brenda is an actress and screenplay writer afraid to confront her past. And Brian, a potter who sets aside his life for Trisha, to the detriment of both. They are linked and transformed by one phone call. Weaves together these 5 teens' stories into a compelling narrative of friendship and family loss, love and heartbreak, and healing and serendipity, and ultimately hope. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea what I'm going to think about this, but I've never heard of this book before. So yeah, we shall see what I think about this one. And then the other one is Everything I Thought I Knew by Shannon Takaoka. One Heart, Infinite Possibilities. Chloe had a plan: get good grades, attend a top college, succeed, and an unexpected heart transplant changes everything. Her plans are on hold, her life is stuck, and she's haunted by memories that she doesn't recognise as her own. The only place that they feel peace is the ocean, when she's learning to surf and slowly falling for her instructor Kai, until a surprising discovery leads her to question everything that she thought she knew about life, love and death, and the true nature of reality. And this was also sent from the lovely people at Walker Books as well. The final book that I have to share with you here is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This one I actually found in a sometimes like have some books like come in, and yeah, it's very bizarre. They're sort of like working a bit like The Works, where they just get like random books coming in, and I was just looking through them and I was like, wow, like a Ruth Ware book is here that I don't actually have a physical copy of. So yes, this is The Turn of the Key. Their dream house will become her worst nightmare. When Rowan comes across the advert, it seems too good to be true. A live-in nanny position with an extremely generous salary. What she doesn't know is she's stepping into a nightmare, one that will end with a child dead and her in a cell awaiting trial for murder. She knows that she's made mistakes, but she's not guilty, at least not of murder, which means that someone else is. I've read a book by, I think it was Riley Sager, which sounds really sort of like similar with the live-in nanny situation, like, you know, or like living in somewhere, like where an advert just sounds really interesting. So it's definitely got that sort of vibe to it, and that one had a very bizarre ending if I remember, so I'm not sure like what I'm going to think about this one, but I'm happy to own it now, and I look forward to picking it up and getting gritty into a nice thriller on a nice sort of like rainy day, which seems to be like every day at the moment. Also during the month of May, I have acquired The Love Curse of Melody McIntyre by Robin Talley. I purchased this, one, because it's on my June TBR, it's a choice that came out, and two, it was like £3.47 on Amazon, brand new, including shipping, and I was like, that is really cheap. That is like literally like half price. of a paperback, and I was just like, that's awesome. So there was a sale on this book, and yet it came out of a choice for the TBR, and I thought, that's like a sign. Is that not a sign that, you know, because I was like, you know, if a ebook or whatever comes out, I kind of like do want to try and read the physical as well, because, you know, I tend to read a lot better if I have the physical copy. So yes, The Love Curse of Melody McIntyre by Robin Talley. Look at the lovely sort of like pink and orange vibe to this. It's got a real sort of like summery vibe. So it's a feel-good rom-com that is about Melody McIntyre, who's a stage manager extraordinaire. They've got a plan for everything, but what she doesn't have is success with love. Every time she falls for someone during rehearsals, both the romance and the show end up in a catastrophe. So they completely swerve love until an upcoming production of Les Mis is over. They didn't count of Odile Rose, rising star in the acting world, auditioning for the spring production. She definitely didn't expect them to be sweet and funny and care as much about the play's success as Mel does, which means that Melody's only plan for now is to try desperately not to fall in love. And it says here, it's hilarious and heartwarming. The Love Curse of Melody McIntyre is perfect for fans of Love, Simon, Pitch Perfect, and To All the Boys I Loved Before. Now, I personally really like all three of those. I really like Love, Simon, and Pitch Perfect I'm a massive fan of, and To All the Boys I Loved Before is like a cute and adorable series. So, high recommendation from this. So, I mean, if it's all like a mishmash of all of those, then yeah, this should be like a brilliant book. I'm really excited and looking forward to reading this. It's a little on the slightly chunky side. It's like over 400 pages, like a chunky sort of contemporary, but at the same time I'm hoping it's going to be a really, really good book to read. And to get it like half price on Amazon when it came out of a TBR prompt, to me, I think that's like a sign. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this a read at some point, and hopefully I can get around to reading this in June. And that, people, is the end of my May book haul. I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the selection that I have. Stay tuned for June's one, which probably won't contain as many, although I will say this now, it could or it couldn't, but I am trying to save some money for things to do with the house, so the likelihood is that going to be a bit better with book buying in the month of June, which is a plus. And also I have begun going back to my library again, and yeah, I've managed to collect some books from there and acquire some, and I've spotted some books I could possibly read as well, basically books that I don't own. And it'll be a situation of like, you know, if I do enjoy them, maybe I'll get them like for myself sort of thing. But yeah, I'm using the library a lot more, which is great. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot better with that. So yes, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, if you'd like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button, which you will find down below. Also in the description, you will find my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and I also do gaming videos, so all of those links will be down below as well, because I've got a Twitch, a YouTube for my gaming, as well as an actual Twitter dedicated to it, and book clubs, any links that I'm part of, and readathons and such, I will link down below as well in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. That's it from me, guys. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!